It's getting worse. This is the third time this morning. Soon. That's where you said an hour ago. Gabriel pulled the pile of papers toward him. His hands cramped with the effort, and the stack spilled across the walnut desk. He cursed, but the word caught in his throat. A woman's picture had been revealed in the collapse, instantly catching his eye. He lifted the folded newspaper to get a better look. Enchanting. That was the only way to describe her. He couldn't look away. The woman had eyes the color of deep water and curly black hair as wild as the hint of trouble she carried in her smile. He had the sudden intense desire to kiss away that lopsided grin and further tangle that hair. Where had such an urge come from? A dragon like Gabriel didn't often find himself drawn to human women. He closed his eyes and gave his head a well-deserved shake. "Who was this?" he demanded. Richard leaned over the desk in order to get a better look, and Gabriel turned the article in his direction. Richard groaned. "That, my friend, is a long shot." Raven Tanglewood opened her eyes to darkness. She blinked and blinked again, but the eyelid flutter didn't seem to help. This was new. While she'd slept, an irregular blotch had formed in her vision, partially obstructing her view. Now it painted itself like black ink against the sterile white walls of her hospital room. A Rorschach test, she thought. What did she see in it? An oil slick? A dark cumulus cloud? A rough joke told by her brain cancer. Cancer, that fucking bitch. The aroma of this morning's half-eaten eggs and the tang of antiseptic brought her fully awake. She was in the exact same place she'd been every day for the past 3 months, the hospice at Oxner Medical Center in New Orleans. Only the last time she drifted off, there wasn't a stain obstructing half her field of vision. She rolled her head, and the dark splotch followed, blotting out the left side of the room. She closed her eyes again, counted to 10. No change. Damn, that couldn't be good. Through her working eye, she watched her mother sleep in the chair next to the bed. She, at least, was the same as Raven had left her. A Cosmo was sprawled across her mother's lap, as if she'd drifted off mid-sentence. Though now that Raven looked more closely, the lifestyle magazine was wrapped around a disturbingly worn copy of Surviving Divorce by Amy Dickerman, Ph.D. Raven winced. So her father's pronounced absence had come to this. Or maybe it was a preemptive read, a talisman against the inevitable. As far as she knew, her parents had only separated, the burden of her illness giving rise to separate bank accounts, separate bedrooms, separate lives. In that order. Her care had become an act of full-time charity her father could not abide. As usual, her mom was bearing the parental weight alone this morning, although the chair beside her held her older sister Avery's rosary. When had she dug that thing up? Raven hadn't seen the likes of it since their aunt had gifted it to her for her first communion. Avery had never been the praying type. Leave it to death to bring out the inner Falwell in everyone. Did she think she could pray the cancer away? Raven snorted at the thought. Pull the plug. That's what she'd say if she had a say, and if she were plugged into anything more than Mr. Drippy, her full-time fluid and drug delivery companion. So far, she could breathe on her own and swallow, unlike the man across the hall. Stopped the vent, she heard the nurses whisper. Lucky bastard. Hey, beautiful, Dr. Fremont said. Raven rolled her head back to center, then slightly to the left so she could see him clearly out of her good eye. Dr. Fremont was a balding, portly man whose gray temples gave away his advanced age. Still, he was more fun than his stodgy contemporaries. She liked him. Hey, ugly, she responded, although the words sounded choked off and raspy.